Praise the Lord, everybody. Chris Davis, MC Raymer, coming back to you again with another Relationship 101. Today we're going to deal with communication. Now this message basically stemmed from a conversation that took place between me and a friend. But we're on the phone and they made a statement about linen. And so when they said linen, my mind immediately went to towels because I really didn't know what linen meant. So in my mind, as they were talking, I'm picturing towels and washcloths. Well, a couple, say 30 seconds to a minute in the conversation, I said, "Excuse me, can you please explain to me what linen is?" And they kind of chuckled and began to tell me that they were talking about things like bed sheets. And then what they said started to make sense. Now you may ask, why would I even say something like this on Relationship 101? I believe it's very significant. So many times we are having conversations with people that we're in relationship, whether it be friendship or marriage or whatever the case is, and they say something to us. However, because of our background or sphere of knowledge, we see something different in our mind, or we hear something different through our ears. The same words, but different meaning. Because to me, a gat is a gun. To somebody else, a gat could mean something else. So you got to understand when you're communicating with someone what they understand. So, and if someone is communicating with you, and you're really not sure, don't be prideful and go, "Oh yeah, I got it." Say, "Excuse me, could you please explain to me what you mean?" Now this happens a lot in marriage. One spouse is saying something to the other spouse, and because of the two different backgrounds, one's going, "Yeah, okay, chocolate." And the other one's going, "That's not what I was talking about." And so then the frustration comes because of the lack of communication. Not the lack of talking, but the lack of communication. Speaking, listening, and understanding. Because you can tell somebody to go pick up the yard, and if you're from where I'm from, picking up the yard means pick up the trash out of the yard. To somebody else, pick up the yard makes no sense to them. They're like, "How can I pick up a yard? That doesn't make sense." So even though you're saying it, you have to make sure the person on the other end understands or comprehends what you're saying. I'll give you a little personal one. For many of you know, I was married in the past, and I'll never forget this one situation where my wife was trying to tell me, "Baby, I want to spend time with you." But the way she said it didn't make sense to me. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to go and get my hair cut, and then after I get my hair cut, But I didn't know she was saying, "No, I need you right now." And I'm not blaming her. It's just I didn't understand what she was saying. And it caused a lot of problems. And that's what you got to be careful of. And it takes two people. One who says, "Excuse me, could you explain to me what you're saying?" Or "Tell me what you're saying. Tell me a different way." Or "Let me tell you what you said." And you repeat it back to them. And if they go, "Yep, that's exactly what I said." Or they go, "Nope, that's not what I meant." Then that way you get an understanding. Because to walk away from the conversation thinking the person is talking about towels and washcloths and they're really talking about bed sheets is two totally different things. Yet one person's understanding is this, another person's understanding is that. Now, I thank God that I wasn't prideful that day and I was like, "Tell me what you mean." But how many of us are? Or how many of us play the, "You know what I'm saying"? Well, they probably wouldn't ask if they did, if they understood, or they thought they understood. So remember, communication is very critical in any relationship, whether it be on your job, with your friends, with your spouse, and that is a critical one. And especially your communication with God. Because how many times has the Lord told us something and we get a totally different view of what He's talking about? Remember, communications is important. I would say the most critical key to any relationship, especially marriage. God bless you.